You feel like you have to stop DJ Moore in this thing, Jeff?
Yeah, I sure do. DJ Moore's really good at football.
So you're going to travel.
He's good at footballing.
You're going to travel. You're going to travel your guy Diggs with him, right? Diggs.
Don't ask me these questions.
Why not?
Because there are a couple of guys on the Cowboys that, God, I'm not going to put them in the same category. Hold on. Let me call an audible here. Because I was going to say something about Terrence Steele and Trayvon Diggs.
In the same sentence?
Right. That's why I'm trying to figure out how to separate them.
Try that again.
So, like, Trayvon Diggs, I think, is a good player.
Right.
And to start the season, he's been really good. And he's been following all these good players.
Yeah.
If he can follow the 5'11", really quick, if he can follow that sort of player and be super effective, I will move Trayvon Diggs up even further in what I think about him.
There's 50% catch rate on him right now. If you look at targets.
Oh, it's only 50%?
Only 50%.
Okay, well then he's not good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. 20 targets, 10 catches.
That's
3
not
receptions.
good.
Yeah.
But DJ Moore's a really good player.
Yeah.
Like, it slants, screen game, down the field. DJ Moore is good.
I found when I was watching I did watch the Houston game. I did watch the Saints game. What I found about him is that when Sam Darnold gets in trouble, that's who he's looking for. That's it. McCaffrey, he was out, in the Saints game, it's a little different. I mean, he could find McCaffrey or hand the ball to McCaffrey and it'd be fine.
Which is interesting because Robbie Anderson was his guy.
Yeah, but and that's what I'm saying.
And this year really hasn't been.
Yeah. It hasn't been. And that's what I'm saying, though. To me, the guy that I would absolutely worry about the most in this Carolina offense is DJ Moore. I would do everything in my power. I know, Jeff, we always laugh about find ways to double team, bracket, act like he's covering a punt, put 2 guys up on him, whatever you have to do. Because when Darnold, there's times where he has to move around and he buys time. And I'll tell you what,
he's a lot better at it than he used to be.
Yeah, he is not terrible running to his left and throwing a football. I mean, he has some zip on it. He has some accuracy on it. And it's surprising because if you look at his offensive line, Cam Irvin playing left tackle for him.
Yeah, we remember him.
Former Dallas Cowboy himself. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of moving around for him. I mean, people get to him. But there's also some times too where in games he will look where he's going to throw that football. If he will say, okay, this ball is definitely going to Anderson. We're going to give it to him here on the curl. Boom, right there. But he tries to get the ball out. And I did notice one thing, and maybe the Cowboys, the way that they're creating turnovers, if you could get to him in the pocket,
he'll do some goofy stuff.
People knock the ball out of his hand. He's one of those guys that is kind of careless with the football when you get him in the pocket. Now, they've been very fortunate to jump on a couple of his fumbles, but when you show me a quarterback like the guy at the Giants, Daniel Jones, when you show me somebody on tape that doesn't protect the football when traffic's around him,
you go after the football.
You're going after the football. Parsons, Randy Gregory. By the way, the report, Randy Gregory not practicing today.
Yeah, I saw it with the knee.
Yeah, heard everything's okay there. Nothing. I got a message. I said, Randy just needed a day because of the knee, and he says, no, good to go. Everything's fine there. Don't worry about it.
Well, so Darnold, correct me if I'm wrong, Sam Darnold has not thrown a pick this year yet, has he? I don't think.
Not
I could
that
be
I
wrong
saw.
about that. Okay.
Not that I saw.
But like he's been taking care of the football fairly well, and it's amazing what a change of scenery will do because guilty, I'm one of those people who said, look, if you play like the worst quarterback in football for 3 years, then I don't think you're good.
He's got 1 pick.
Okay, 1 pick.
Yeah.
But he's gotten with Matt Rule and Joe Brady, and now all of a sudden it's like the boneheaded stuff has been pulled back. Not all the way, but a lot of it. Like he's making better decisions. He's maybe better protected. They don't have a great line.
No.
But he's managed to play pretty darn good football, and I thought that he would not. And you know what? Maybe he won't. Because he has played the Jets, the Davis Mills-led Texans, and maybe the cocky and coronavirus-ravaged Saints. So maybe I actually respect this team a little more than I should, but just watching them play against the Saints, they look like a pretty good football team.
Yeah, and I think it starts defensively though. When you look at and there is a lot to like about what they're doing on their defense. With because they get pressure. Phil Snow, who Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator, longtime college defensive coordinator. Everybody was kind of worried about. I mean, Phil was with our coach at Baylor.
With Matt
Rule.
Rule and those guys. And so you're thinking, well, how is this going to translate into NFL things? But his answer is like, okay, I'm just going to come after you. I'm going to blitz. I'm not going to let you run the ball. When I don't let you run the ball, I'm going to blitz you. And they bring pressure from all levels. So we were kind of making a joke about Zeke if this thing turns into him having to pass. This might be a game where you don't see much of Pollard if Dallas has to turn around and try and throw the football here in this game.
Yeah, if you want to do it that way, or if you want to embrace the Jeff Kavanaugh way of football into the future, which is, oh no, they're going to blitz all the time. 5 wide. I dare you.
Spread everything out.
Yeah.
I dare you.
Yeah.
I'll see where from. The ball will go there. But they're a pressure team, and I think this game will come down to how well does Dak Prescott handle the fact that, 1, you don't have your entire offensive line, and 2, this team's coming for you.
They are.
Unless they totally change their game plan because they respect Dak more than the other quarterbacks they've played, their MO is we blitz. And they'll blitz on 1st and 10.
Well,
they'll blitz on 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
Like they are going to say, look, big plays are here for you to get, but you better do it quick because we're coming for you.
Is that a good idea, though, with the way that their secondary has been banged up, though? Bringing a lot of guys and leaving those corners on an island?
They're trying to get home before you get the ball off.
But Dak's got a quick release, though, so maybe should combat that. Maybe,
no,
right?
They've got to figure this out. Can they take advantage? Through 2 weeks, we've seen Steele play pretty well. They had to see the tape of what's going on at center here. They had to see what's going on at guard. The holding calls that Connor Williams got. I mean, they got some big inside guys too. That Derek Brown.
Remember him at Auburn?
Yeah,
that
guy. I mean, and they got this guy Morgan Fox, who they got from the Rams.
Who, I will be honest, before watching them play, I did not know who Morgan Fox was.
Well, how about Hassan Reddick? You remember him?
So Hassan Reddick, this is a Jeff Kavanaugh truth of football. Let people do what they're good at.
Yeah.
So Hassan Reddick, I could be wrong about this, but drafted by the Cardinals in the first round.
Yeah. Yep.
So they drafted a guy who in college got like 20 sacks or whatever his last year in college.
Right.
But he was a 235-pound edge. And they're like, well, he's a freak athlete. We're going to make him an off-the-ball linebacker because he's too small to play the edge. Well, guess what? He was bad. Now he's in Carolina. Mm-hmm. You know where they're playing him? As a 235-pound edge.
Right.
And he's good.
Yeah.
Like he was in college. Let your guys do what they're good at. And he's tough. He's strong. He's not an awful run player. He's small. But he's going to challenge Terrence Steele. And I don't want to take away the credit for what Steele's already done. He blocked Joey Bosa well.
Yeah.
This is just a different kind
of... A little bit of help.
Yes, with help. A decent amount of help.
More help in that game than what he had to deal with last week.
Exactly.
And this will be a different kind of challenge because it's not a 6'5", long-limbed, really, really good player. It's a
speed guy.
Wee man that is violent, plays hard, moves fast. It's a different sort of challenge. So I wonder if you're going to need to help Terrence Steele again or if they're going to have enough confidence to be like, he's played well.
You think
just put him out there.
Reddick, or do you go with Brian Burns?
I think Reddick's better.
Yeah. Brian Burns, to your point, is a lot longer. He's like a 6'5", 250-pound guy. But both these guys stand up off the edge. Very similar to, if you remember how the Cowboys played the Eagles this past weekend with a couple of down guys, and then everybody else kind of standing around the line of scrimmage, attacking the. Yeah. That's what Carolina does on defense. That's how they try and get to you. But like I said, when your blitz rate is it's 39%, you're trying to hide something. And the fact that they lost J.C. Horn, they're trying to hide that they might have some liability. Now I'll tell you what, Jeremy Chin, the safety,
good player.
I would love to have Jeremy Chin as a safety. Now, and the safeties here are playing well. But Jeremy Chin is an outstanding player. I was a second-round pick for them, by the way.
And he plays safety. He'll come play the slot.
Yeah.
He'll cover your slot wide receiver. Like, he's a good player. Other things that I noticed watching them play, where you mentioned the interior guys, like they got a couple of 320-pounders. They'll put Derek Brown out there and Daquan Jones, number 90.
Yeah.
So they'll put the big boys out there because their edge guys are kind of lighter, get after the quarterback guys. But to me, their most impressive interior player is Morgan Fox, dude I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Number 91. And he was getting after the Saints offensive line. Like they've got dudes that can get after the quarterback. You're gonna have a challenge on your hands as an offensive line, but the flip side of that is there's a chance that Dak's about to throw for 450 and 4 scores.
I was just about to say, is this an opportunity where you can test CJ Henderson a little bit early on to see what you got in him with Amari, CD, maybe see what you got in CJ?
They're
Henderson
also bringing back AJ Bouye, who hasn't played this year.
Yeah.
His suspension, he had like a 6-game suspension that somehow ended in week 3. So AJ Bouye is going to be active for the first time this year, this weekend. So they'll have a veteran dude coming back. Maybe CJ Henderson's out there. Dante Jackson out of LSU is another corner who Amari Cooper will talk about at 6 o'clock when we talk to Amari Cooper right here on the Fan. But yeah, there's the potential that Dak gets sacked 6 times, and there's the potential that Dak throws 4 touchdowns in the first half, and Carolina goes, hey guys, we're going to try something different.
I think this game is going to be, I do still like the Cowboys, but I don't think, like to your point, I think it's going to be a 3 or 4 point game. I think it's coming off the Monday night game. There could be, the practice schedules and stuff like that. Carolina's coming off playing. They've had a long rest.
They've had 10 days.
Yeah, they played. By the reason you didn't know Morgan Fox, you probably didn't watch his tape in college. Went to school at Colorado State Pueblo.
Oh, see, I saw the Colorado State part.
Yeah,
and I was like, I would have thought I would have heard of him. We watched Gallup there. There's guys we watched out of there.
We didn't read the rest of the line.
I didn't get the Pueblo part.
We didn't get any Pueblo part there. Yeah, that was 5 years ago we were doing that. Yeah.
It's fun, though. I think that's one of the fun things of when you really nerd out and you, like, watch the tape.
Yeah.
Because going into this game, I think most people would know, like, Derek Brown, right? He was Auburn. He was first-round pick. He's this big defensive tackle. You got to kind of really dig in there to be able to tell people, like, hey, listen, Derek Brown's fine. But this Morgan Fox, that's a dude. Never heard of him. Dude can play.
Number 91. Hopefully he won't end up in your backfield.
Hopefully Dak throws for 500 yards. That's what I wonder. Because you watch him against these other teams, and Jameis is uncomfortable, and the rookie quarterbacks are uncomfortable. Is Dak going to be uncomfortable, or is the ball going to come out in a second and a half, and it's going to be like, well, there's Dalton Schultz again. Oh, and there is CD on a slant.
And Dak hasn't been too bad against the blitz. He's got 3 touchdowns against the blitz this year.
No, exactly. His numbers are not terrible. It's not like that you would worry about blitzing him and it like being a huge detriment, like a Jared Goff or somebody like that you blitz and he completes 31% of his passes that way.
Leave Goff alone.
I just was real quick though. If you're Carolina, think about this. Now the Cowboys have had some success running the football here. The last couple weeks, 55% loaded box against Tampa, 19 against the Chargers, 12 against Philadelphia. 12% loaded box, 19%.
This is the Cowboys?
This is what they faced.
Oh, okay.
If you look at numbers, loaded box in Tampa was 55%.
Yeah.
Chargers was 19% loaded box. That's why you ran.
Yep.
Philly was 12% loaded box. If you're Carolina, what do you do?
This team's going to load the box. Or they're going to change who they are because through 3 weeks, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They load the box, and they're not loading it to stop the run. They're loading it because they don't want you to know
that's why
coming.
you went on record saying they're going to throw the ball.
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a throw the ball game for the Cowboys. Week 1 was throw the ball. Because defenses dictate what you're going to do.
Right.
And this defense is going to dictate to you man coverage, man coverage, man coverage, man coverage, one deep safety. And Dak is going to look at that and go,
I like my chances.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.